God, you're so hot.
This doesn't feel right.
Really? These seats are real vinyl. Maybe you're just sitting on belt buckles.
No. I mean us. This. I want to go find Corky and apologize.
Corky? What are you talking about? I waited 2 years for this. Come on, at least check the mic.
Get off!
After a heated argument with her boyfriend Cole, Felicia stormed off on her own. Cole went after her. That's why Corky suspected that Cole had driven his car into Felicia and killed her. And Cole's father was the biggest car dealer in Philadelphia, which meant he had the resources to repair a vehicle after an accident and leave absolutely no trace behind. But when police brought Cole in for questioning, he denied everything. He said yes, they had argued, but he caught up with Felicia shortly after and apologized. The two of them patched things up quickly. Brenda and her boyfriend Lee could back that up. Lee had even called Cole out right then and there. That's when it hit Cole. Felicia seemed to care about Lee in a way that went beyond friendship. Something must have happened between them. Not long after, police tracked Lee down at a restaurant. It turned out Lee and Felicia had grown up together, childhood sweethearts from the very beginning. But after high school, Felicia's striking looks made her the center of attention everywhere she went, and the two of them slowly drifted apart. That night, Lee found Felicia alone and opened up about everything he'd been carrying for the past 3 years. What surprised him was that Felicia had never really moved on either. She was exhausted by all the attention, tired of being seen as just a pretty face. The two of them had a deep, honest conversation. By the end of it, they hugged. But Brenda happened to walk in at exactly that moment. She immediately assumed Felicia was making a move on her boyfriend and completely lost it. Felicia followed Brenda into the bathroom to explain. She told Brenda the truth, that Lee was actually the person. She had lost her virginity to back in middle school, but that was a long time ago. Felicia encouraged Brenda to go for it with Lee, genuinely meaning every word. The two of them hugged it out before leaving, but Brenda wasn't being sincere. The moment it was over, she went straight to Cole and told him everything. Then after the party wrapped up, she slept with him as a way of getting back at Felicia. Later in the parking lot, Cole got into a confrontation with Lee over his history with Felicia. Felicia stepped in to stop it. She proposed breaking up with Cole, and she wasn't going to the college they had planned on attending together. She was heading to UC Berkeley instead, and she had Mr. Burke to thank for that.
Stay off that thing, then wax the lanes. What's this guy, never gone bowling before? Come on, little buddy, come on. Don't give up hope, we're all pulling for you, come on!
The new fire captain, Pre-Gen, publicly mocked Otis. The firefighters were furious. With Casey's help, Otis managed to get back on his feet. But Pre-Gen's taunting never let up, and it was getting under Otis's skin more and more. Back at the firehouse, Pre-Gen kept bringing it up just to get a laugh, and even gave Otis a cruel nickname.
From now on, your name's Gutterball.
Otis chose to let it go. Casey had heard enough. He told Pre-Gen to knock it off.
I was lucky he lost his footing on a bowling alley, not a pitched roof, Lieutenant. Screw-up's a screw-up.
But the next day, Pre-Gen showed up with a piece of clothing, looking for another chance to humiliate Otis. Otis had no choice but to go along with it, and Pre-Gen wasn't done there. He ordered Otis to put the outfit on, and forced him to pose for photos. Everyone was disgusted by what Pre-Gen was doing, but because of his authority, nobody felt like they could say a word. Then during a rescue call, Otis saved an elderly man's life. But even after proving himself like that, when they got back to the firehouse, Pre-Gen still had something to say. Casey completely lost it.
Don't talk to my guy like that.
I don't like your tone, Lieutenant.
I don't like yours. You ought to treat him with respect.
Chief, I want you in my office in 5 minutes, Lieutenant.
As punishment, Casey was sent outside to wash the firehouse windows in the dead of winter, but things were far from over. Shortly after, the team responded to a building fire. While on scene, they got word of another emergency on a nearby street. Pre-Gen pulled Casey and his crew away from the fire and sent them to handle the secondary situation instead. That call turned out to be a critical mistake. A building superintendent, left without help, jumped from a window trying to escape, and ended up with serious injuries. The firehouse was hit with a negligence complaint, but when investigators sat down with Pre-Gen, he found a way to put the blame squarely on Casey.
What's in your bag?
Oh,
Condoms.
I did what you asked. Did I do good?
You did, Matthew.
You want to play Witchcrafter?
Maybe later, but right now, my friends need to talk to you.
But my mom's gonna be so mad at me, and I need to be home before 8. Where are you taking me?
Detective Silva, in an online game specifically designed to lure children, she posed as a kid, chatting with predators and arranging meetups. Using this tactic, she had successfully taken down 49 offenders. But when she came face to face with her final target, Matthew, something unexpected happened. Matthew Daly was 32 years old and had autism. Mentally, he functioned at about a 5th grade level. He had been playing the online game alongside other predators, but he may not have even understood what kind of game he was actually in. Watching him sit there, confused and oblivious, Silva felt a wave of deep guilt wash over her. She turned to Benson for help. Benson went to ADA Carisai and asked him to go easy on Matthew. Carisai flatly refused.
This guy showed up with condoms to a hotel room where he thought he was meeting a 14-year-old girl. On the 8th floor, they call that intent.
His only intent was to make a friend in his favorite online world, and he thought he found that friend in Silva.
Maybe. But this is the real world, and there's real-world consequences.
It wasn't until the case went to court and Carisai saw Matthew in person, that he truly grasped the severity of his condition. After the hearing, Silva paid a visit to Matthew's mother. The bail alone had already pushed her to her breaking point. She told Silva that her son had never spent a single night away from her. He wouldn't survive in prison. Silva was overwhelmed with guilt. She offered the mother a sincere apology, promised to do everything in her power to find a way, and went straight back to Benson. She begged her to come up with another option. Benson went directly to Carisai's supervisor, laid out the whole situation, and filed a request to have the charges dropped. Matthew was finally released. He never really understood what had happened to him. Maybe that was for the best. When Silva promised to play games with him, his eyes lit up instantly, like he had finally made a real friend.
I got your letter.
What'd you say?
I got your letter, and I like you too.
You fell for it. Why don't you go home and hump your pillow, nerd? Huh?
You just wanted to screw with me.
The boy realized he'd been played. He threw out a few harsh words and stormed off. But that very same night, the girl he had confessed to was killed in a car accident. She died on the spot. With no witnesses, the case went cold. 21 years later, the school held its prom again. While the principal was sorting through old decorations, she stumbled across a box of forgotten photos. The girl in the pictures was Felicia, that year's prom queen. She had died in a car crash on that very same night. The last photo was taken outside a church near the school. A clock visible in the background read 12:15 a.m. Yet just 15 minutes later, a driver found Felicia's body, more than 6 miles from the school.
Well, there's no way she could have walked 3 miles in 15 minutes. Someone had to give her a ride.
Whoever took this picture was the last to see her alive.
Or a killer.
The police decided to reopen the case. Their first stop was Brenda, Felicia's closest friend from back then. Brenda said that on that night, Felicia had been crowned prom queen. She was genuinely happy for her. But the night didn't go without a hitch. After the prom wound down, the two of them were sitting in a corner chatting, when Corky, the school oddball, suddenly walked over. He was holding a love letter, and tried to confess his feelings to Felicia. It didn't take long before he realized the whole thing had been a prank. Corky stormed out of the prom, furious. Brenda later heard that the very next day, Corky had left Philadelphia. That sounded a lot like someone running. Could Corky be the one who hit Felicia? Police then tracked down the so-called oddball himself. Corky said that night was the worst night of his entire life. So the morning after the prom, he enlisted in the army and never looked back. But he did give investigators a brand new lead. That night in the parking lot, he had seen Felicia in the middle of a heated argument with her boyfriend Cole.
What is it? 1751. It's my badge number.
Samurai, we got trouble. Get out here. Your car.
Hey, what the hell?
Not long ago, a high-rise building suddenly caught fire. The air was thick with the smell of diesel. A shopping cart sitting outside the building caught Bowden's eye. He suspected someone might be trapped inside. Firefighters rushed in to search for survivors, but the building was completely empty. That's when Bowden realized the shopping cart had been placed there on purpose. Around the same time, a string of numbers on the wall caught Kelly's attention. It turned out to be his own badge number. He didn't think much of it at first, but when he got back to the firehouse, his car had been set on fire. That same diesel smell was still in the air. It was clearly the work of the same person. That's when Kelly realized he was being targeted. While combing through the scene, firefighters also found an unusual coil. It turned out to be a homemade oxidation accelerant device. The string of fires had Kelly losing sleep. He started to wonder if this was all about revenge against his father, Benny. Years ago, Benny had helped the police bring down a criminal, and that man had just been released from prison a month earlier. But before the investigation could go any further, another fire broke out at a fellow firefighter's family restaurant. The same coil showed up at the scene again. The arsonist was using the exact same method every single time, pushing the firefighters deeper into panic. After going back through every lead they had, Kelly ruled out the guy he'd originally suspected.
It's a firefighter. When I was looking at the dangerous buildings map, it hit me that all the arsonist targets were on there, and in our district.
So it's a firefighter who's got beef with all of us at 51?
Then out of nowhere, another name popped into his head. Bailey, a firefighter who had been fired a year ago.